Hello, Happy New Year. This is Christy, and this is my list of my favorite K-pop music videos of 2021. Let's get right into it. First of all, though, if you want K-pop or any music genre to be elevated into a realm of art rather than simply just consumerism, then you have to make room for criticism. Critical analysis of media and art is not inherently just punching down negativity. When done correctly, it's a discussion focusing on aspects that make up a whole piece. It's exceptionally bizarre to think people need to like everything and that art, especially one so driven by a consumer market, deserves a positive reaction just for existing. That's a hurtful mindset towards K-pop. Artistic merit doesn't reside within output. It resides within audience perception. We decide. Now, granted, I'm not planning on being extremely critical or anything. This is, after all, a video of all the things I loved throughout the year. This is just my long-winded way of saying if you don't like my list, you can make your own list. Please make your own list. Share with me. If you're sitting there going, "Oh, she doesn't have this, or she didn't mention this music video or artist, or I don't know, why is it on your list?" Share with me. Explain. Let's discuss and elevate each other in our thoughts on this thing we both love. Anyway, here's my video.
Oh my gosh, don't you know I'm a savage? I'm a killer, 널 깨라 아직도 가리고 환각을 펼쳐 no fella, we holla.
Savage is another aespa release that pulls a bit of a next level thing where it feels like 3 songs in one, or halfway through the song you're kind of like, is this the same song? And that is understandably not everyone's thing, but I have found that it's kind of mine. This is a music video list because I'm a very visual person. I cannot stress enough that the visual aspect of K-pop is why I'm still here. Choreography can make or break a song for me. A music video can perfect something I already enjoy or make it not as enjoyable in some cases. Savage borders on sensory overload but still manages a cohesive balance because ultimately they're only using 3 sets filmed at different angles with various digital enhancements, and it follows a simple story. Go hurt the baddie! Ta-da! Much like the unique flow of the song Savage, the visual elements have a somewhat anticlimactic result. There is no Matrix-like kung fu battle in the end, and the visual buildup doesn't really go anywhere. I think that's because the song and the video are much more about a very specific kind of confidence. The unnerving battle cry of someone who knows what they're capable of and might possibly be underselling it. Oftentimes in K-pop, music lyrics and imagery are boisterous. I'm the best. You can't mess with me. I'm bad. Bad. I'm dangerous. And it can feel like with girl groups in particular, the need to boss up is imperative and sometimes laboriously over-explained. But with Savage, there is somehow a undercurrent of keeping it real, even when broadcasting from Black Mamba's dank meme cave and briefly turning into the Winx Club. aespa's entire deal so far has been putting the organic into technology and framing overproduction with simplified concepts, which for me is what makes them so interesting. They're pulling it off. Nothing about Savage is normal or even that relatable, but unlike, say, 21's I'm the Best or more recently Luna's So What, Savage doesn't try to distance the group or present them as untouchable or unknowable. There are very few full-body shots, and even those within choreography are dipping in and out and following kinetic energy that draws the eye in. It makes you feel a part of the neon spectacle rather than just a passive observer of it. Savage wants everyone along for the ride, and it doesn't seem to really care if folks are strapped in to enjoy themselves or to hate on it. Again, it exudes a specific type of confidence, the kind where you can get away with ending on a question.
What?
Cold-blooded, 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 cold-blooded,
I'm so cold-blooded, I'm so naughty. 우린 전문가, 넌
Cold-Blooded was made in collaboration with the survival reality program Street Woman Fighter, which features all-female dance crews competing for prize and prestige. I didn't watch the series as religiously as others, but I had Boa and Sunmi and some other special guests I like, including Jessie. This music video is bare bones because it's obviously focusing on the different dance crews' self-made choreography for the song. Right away, you can feel each crew's difference in style and approach, even if you're unfamiliar with them. In this moment, who they are individually as contestants on a show is irrelevant. They are the manifestation of this symphonic experience, and while it's Jessie's song, she chooses instead to relinquish ownership over to the dancers, only appearing in the last minute. It's a simple gesture, but for artists used to fighting for airtime and only commonly receiving recognition when backing up a bigger star, it's also a gesture that follows up on the empowering themes of the track, the series, and Jessie's personal ideals. The performative display of upturned chins and pointing and teeth and unnatural energy are not who these women are, but who they choose to become and can embody due to dedication and perseverance. At no point in Cold-Blooded do I think to myself, I want to try that, which is something that I commonly delude myself into when I watch choreography-heavy material. I kind of always go, oh, I'm going to give it a go. That doesn't happen here at all. Cold-Blooded is tough. It doesn't feel like it's for the enjoyment of the dancers or the crews. They're not displaying the joy of dancing. They're showing the work, the grind. These are the crew's individually choreographed pieces for the song that they competed with. It's their job, and they take it seriously. Cold-Blooded isn't a music video embracing the idea that everyone can accomplish their dreams. It's the cold-blooded reality that you could work hard, be excellent, be top class, be the literal best, and be the backup. Sometimes it can feel like women get the rep of being cold-blooded if they're proud of themselves, especially if they're proud of their accomplishments with little to show for it. To set and give power to your own standards rather than those milestones placed on your path by others is hard work. And it's oftentimes women's work. But so is getting shit done.
We don't give a what. Mind your own, mind your own. I'm really in my zone. Got it going on. Got it going on.
Has interesting emotional connotations. The song by itself is kind of peppy sounding while being a bit of a downer, focusing on missing your boyfriend and maybe not having the best drinking habits. While the song sounds to me a bit immature, the visuals of the music video are anything but. It's melancholy and adult. The members never fully meet up to smile and engage with each other as a whole unit, even though they oftentimes are sharing spaces. They just share them at different times. A lot of music videos have one storyline that's then intercut with cool filler images that don't really do much other than be visual fluff, which has its purpose, and I oftentimes also enjoy, don't get me wrong. But here, they've made every shot relevant to an individual emotional storyline. The editing of the music video is non-linear. The order in which these images appear doesn't matter, and where there would usually be fluff shots, and there are still a few, there is instead a focus on recurring objects and outfits and places that reinforces the haze of a long night drinking or several long nights that start to bleed together. After We Ride focuses on low emotions, the slowness and feelings of repetitivity when you feel uneasy and anxious and are just doing things to do things, to pass the time while your mind is somewhere else completely. Sometimes in life shit happens, and it can be almost shocking how naturally life carries on. To me, this music video is about those brief but long moments before you fully accept something, before willingly moving on, when you're dragged a bit behind the momentum of your life. Eventually, you'll catch back up to the present and once again become your own driving force, but to share and peek into that messy vulnerability makes After We Ride, to me, a welcome dose of maturity.
왜 자꾸 날 연구해 아인슈타인도 아니고 왜 그렇게 각을 재 사인 코사인도 아니고 밀고 당기는 게 내 스타일은 또 아니고 알아보다 말 거면 눈에 펄펄 나만 좀 잡아.
And then on the other end, we have Twice. I have only ever engaged Twice visually. I've never sat down and listened to an entire album on its own, and if I know a B-side, it's because they've performed it on a concert more than once. I know most of the members, a few I still get a little confused. I'm a very casual fan, let's put it that way, but I'm always happy when a Twice music video plops down in front of me. It's usually a good time, and Scientist is the best time, even though it is, in my opinion, a common and extremely safe music video. Scientist is like so many other girl group vids where it takes place in a big studio that's pink and there are boxes of color everywhere for some reason, and at some point they dance on a stage that's put at an angle. Everyone has at least 2 hairstyles and 3 costume changes, and that thing I talked about in the Brave Girls video After We Ride of visual fluff makes up basically the entire video. There's not actually a storyline happening here. But you know what? It's cute. They look like they are having so much fun. I want to work there. Come on. In the song, they say no license, and they make the card shape with their hands. Oh, I love it so much. They get to trash a lab, which is one of my life goals, and at some point, they just run around in circles holding hands, and I never want it to stop. Also, I think they're inside the TARDIS. This song makes me happy. This music video makes me smile, and I do the little hand motions, the parts I know, to myself, and it's just, I love it. I want to eat it. It looks delicious.
You ain't the star, you ain't the vibe. You ain't the star, you
Then I'm blue, watch you, waiting, watch you, waiting.
ain't the star, you ain't the
Hey, don't know why 이토록 끌린 존재 너는 rated R 짜릿하지만 mysterious circles
I am finding talking about Bad Love actually fairly difficult, as I feel the final product is sufficient enough in speaking for itself. This is a tight production. Bad Love, in my opinion, is so well edited. It has such great flow, and even though it's a typical music video of jumping around into different sets and costumes, I never think, oh wait, no, go back to that one bit, I want to see more of that. The flow pushes my attention along, and whatever I'm seeing is a moment I'm grateful for, and I'm having fun. Obviously, I'm biased. I love Key, I love SHINee, and I love Key, and his last solo album, Face, and then I Wanna Be, I think is one of the greatest K-pop albums of all time, or just greatest pop album of all time. I'm aware that I'm not wearing the most impartial lens. That said, when I attempt to remove myself a little from the die-hard SHINee world position, this is still really good. Key understands color and shape He has surrounded himself with collaborators he trusts, and oh my god, he got a budget. Bad Love is so shiny. What I like about Bad Love as a music video is that it isn't dependent on being relatable. It's dependent on being a spectacle. This is condensed, hyper cinematic melodrama. Bad Love is about the allure of watching a train wreck. It's a crash and burn, lovingly captured in high definition so you can see the individual nuts and bolts fly like fireworks. It's voyeurism as participation. Key knows we're there. He is always performing on stage for us, be it in an interview, on screen, or in his own dressing room. The only time he escapes is when he himself is watching the fallout drama of his own making. It's a fun idea that opens the song in the video up into being universally interesting and engaging, if not personally identifiable. The emotions behind the song remain keys. Those feelings are his alone, and like most televised tragedies, it's difficult to say you can fully understand what it must be like just because you're witness to it. Bad Love is engaging and near perfect, and maybe that's because it focuses on the audience to keep a distance. It's not about us, we're not involved, but we are invited to see the wonder and the spectacle, and I, for one, cannot turn away.
이건 첫 번째 레슨 좋은 건 너만 알기 이제 두 번째 레슨 슬픔도 너만 갖기 좋은 걸 나눠 때가 이게 대체 왜 아파도 그저 더 외롭게 돼.
This is such a good music video. This is such a good song. It borders on being too weird and odd, but is always pulled back from the edge by the charm of Yuno's delivery and just the overwhelming tenacity of what it's implying. Thank You is witty. It doesn't have vocal bells and whistles, but is punctuated with these breaks in character of I hate this, in between Yuno reciting to himself lessons of affirmation and thanking everyone for shaping who he is. There is a questioning nature in the song, especially when paired with these visuals. There can be a price to pay for being shaped by others, for allowing yourself to bend, and for molding yourself into who you need to be to reach the top. In the beginning of the music video, life spills out of Yuno and color slips away into black and white. Survival mode. There are no options. You stay down or you get up. From there, the color starts to return, but they're washed out, as the focus is still on surviving but trying to blend in. Having survived the second assault, the world of contrast enters, and now Yuno stands out. But you only ever really see him in full when he is with others. When he's on his own, his face is obscured by shadow, hidden behind a gun, or shot in profile. Maybe the Yuno of the video only has a two-dimensional understanding of himself. The song has sections of just the word me being said over and over again, and I believe a question mark is implied. Eventually, Yuno ends up in a game of Russian roulette for no reason other than it was presented by the man in power as a thing he needs to do. It's intense and a perfect symbolic culmination of what Thank You seems to be about at its core. The foolish and scary result of living life in reaction to others. Maybe it helps you get somewhere, but probably not where you want to be. A place where the top is as lonely as being at the bottom.